The Senate will come to order. The senators will take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privileges of the floor will retire to the gallery. Good morning, senators. Good morning, guests. Good morning. The senators and those in attendance, if you are able, please rise. We will be led in prayer this morning by Pastor Mike Lawson of Rejoicing Life Church in Stewart's Draft. Following the prayer, we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America by our Senate page, Hallie Halliari of Newport News.
Would you join me in prayer? Gracious Heavenly Father, it is with a grateful heart that we enter into your presence today through prayer and supplication. Lord, you have tasked this body of legislators with a great responsibility to establish laws for the governance and well-being of the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Father, we are thankful for the sacrificial service each has made in answering the call to serve in our civil government. I ask that your guiding hand of grace, provision, health, and protection be upon the members of this body, their families, their homes, and their livelihoods. Lord Father God, as we navigate the waters of diverse opinions, numerous needs, and difficult decisions, I ask that you bestow upon them the wisdom of Solomon, the courage of Esther, the strength of Samson, the excellence of Daniel, and the heart of David. May we be unified in our efforts that you would be glorified in the results. Heavenly Father, I offer this prayer and supplication to you in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll. All those present, please vote aye. The clerk will close the roll.
You have a quorum, Madam President. Senate Journal for Tuesday, February 20th, 2024.
The senior senator from Fairfax County, Senator Marsden, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. All those in favor of waiving the reading of the journal will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 33, no 7.
Ayes 33, no 7. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the House of Delegates. Chair recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Saravel.
I'm not looking that old. Buenas tardes, señor presidente. Good afternoon.
Buenas noches.
Okay. I move to waive reading of the House communication.
Sí. The question is, shall the reading of the communication from the House be waived? Those in favor of waiving the reading of the communication will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. The senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 2.
Ayes 38, noes 2. The reading of the communication from the House of Delegates is waived. The clerk will now report any communications from the governor.
I do not have any, Madam President.
we have arrived at the time in our morning hour when we will discover who all of our beautiful guests are. And so the normal procedure is that your senator will rise and speak about you, and please rise at that time so we know who you are. And if you'll hold your applause until after I've spoken, then we'll give you the applause that you deserve. And so with that, I call on Senator Head, the senator from Botetourt.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for not one, not two, but three introductions.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. It's my privilege to introduce to the body today Pastor Mike Lawson, who gave today's invocation. Pastor Lawson is the senior pastor of Rejoicing Life in Stewart's Draft. A longtime resident of Augusta County, Pastor Lawson graduated from Stewart's Draft High School and then went on to Virginia Tech, where he earned his Bachelor of Science degree in marketing. He began his professional career in business operations management before transitioning into full-time pastoral ministry in 2005. He's been married to his wife, Cindy, for 27 years, and she's with him in the gallery today. They have 3 children, Ian, Garrett, and Ellie. Pastor Lawson also serves his community as a state representative for City Elders of Virginia and as a member of the Augusta County School Board representing the South River District. Madam President, I ask that we give Pastor Lawson the warm welcome of the Senate.
Well, in addition, Pastor, to your title as pastor, you are also the honorable. And so you hear everything as the citizens come to you for, well, to let you know how they feel about things. We know a little bit about that here. Thank you so very much for coming and your prayer. I see that you have brought with you your spouse, Cynthia, William Butcher, James McBride, Brian Wills, Elizabeth Wills, C.J. Jordan, Jim Prince, Jessina Prince, Rachel Prince, James Prince, Franklin Prince, Shiloh Heffernan. Will you all please stand? Wonderful. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Head.
Thank you, Madam President. For my second introduction, we are joined in the gallery today by members of City Elders Action. City Elders Action is a group of faith leaders, business leaders, and community activists from across Virginia who believe that there is a spiritual solution to many political problems. They are here today to pray for the Commonwealth's elected leaders and to join with others in the March for Life here at the Capitol. And Madam President, I would ask that we also give them the warm welcome of the Senate.
If you are here, please stand. All right, wonderful. Thank you all. Thank you for what you do in our great communities. Thank you for the sacrifices that you certainly make. We're glad you're there. Keep praying for us. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Again, Senator Head.
Thank you, Madam President. And finally, but certainly not least in importance, Madam President, we're also joined in the gallery today by 7th grade civics students from Perry McClure Middle School in Buena Vista, along with their teacher, Kevin Haynes. These students are the selected few from their class who have been recognized for their exceptional essays on citizenship. And if they would all please stand. They are here at the Capitol today to see firsthand the lawmaking process at work. Their passion for civic engagement at such a young age should be commended. These are indeed the future leaders of the Commonwealth. And Madam President, I ask that we would give them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for coming. Young people, you are our future, but as I've always said, your future begins now, and you are leaders now. And if I can just finally say this to you, I think I've reached that age. Stay away from the knuckleheads. They don't know anything. You continue to live your life and move forward. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Williams Graves, the senator from Norfolk.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for the purpose of 2 introductions.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, we have the Hampton Roads Realtors Association, an organized group of real estate brokers and agents dedicated to furthering the American dream of homeownership through protecting private property rights, advancing affordable housing, promoting a vibrant and healthy market, supporting smart growth and sustainability, improving the quality of life in neighborhoods its members serve, and enhancing professional industry standards. And I would ask that they stand. The association has been serving the region for more than 135 years. The association's commitment to its members is evident through its vigilant monitoring of legislation to ensure that realtors' ability to deliver services in a professional and profitable manner continue. Please join me in giving them a warm Senate welcome.
Thank you for coming. And you know, the one thing about your profession is that you put yourself under a code of ethics. It is one thing for others to want you to have a code of ethics, but it's another for you to say, to be professionals, we need to put ourselves under our own code of ethics so that we can understand, well, when we've gone astray. Thank you for doing that. I think you might be one of the very first professions to adopt a code of ethics. Thank you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Williams-Graves.
Thank you, Madam President. My second introduction.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, I am really excited about this group of individuals. We have constituents and local elected officials from my hometown of Norfolk, Virginia. They are here, and they can stand. They are here participating in the inaugural and first annual Norfolk at the Capitol Day event, which is a bipartisan effort that I've led to invite members of my city to the Capitol. We had members from the entire Norfolk delegation, including the senior senator from Virginia Beach, who has 5 precincts in my city. The attendees include residents of the city of Norfolk, but they also include our awesome city clerk, our amazing auditor, our fabulous commissioner of the revenue, our dapper school board member, and our dapper sheriff. They are here today to meet with representatives on both sides of the aisle in the House and the Senate and see the legislative process firsthand. Some of them are visiting the Capitol, Madam President, for the very first time. Madam President and members of the Senate, please join me in giving them a warm Senate welcome.
Good afternoon to you. You know, I will always hold, as we said when we first moved from California, Norfolk in my heart, and then I understood it's Norfolk, because that is where my children grew up and where so much of my life was spent, I think, growing into the person I am today. So thank you for coming, and thank you for being in your elected offices and for letting us know, both sides, how you feel about the issues. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Diggs, the senator from York.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Today, we welcome the 7th grade civics students and the staff of Hampton Roads Academy. Located in Newport News, Hampton Roads Academy is an independent school serving grades pre-K through 12 and serves as an inclusive community of service and compassion that prepares students to excel intellectually, artistically, physically, and morally in higher education and in life. During their time as Hampton Road Academy navigators, students grow and thrive in a safe and supportive learning community while pursuing their individual curiosity and character development. While pursuing their studies, students experience learning opportunities that allow them to practice and grow 21st century skills necessary not just for personal development, but for the development of our state and country. Today, Today's visit represents a culmination of months of civic learning for these students. In their civics class, these students have spent weeks studying the branches of state government. While investigating the work of the General Assembly, these students selected bills, performed research, and crafted arguments to share their perspectives with their legislators. They have sent emails, placed phone calls to our offices, and today lobbied members of both chambers. They are here today to demonstrate their civic power that is the lifeblood of our democracy. Madam President, I ask that you give them the warm welcome of the Senate.
If you are here, please stand. There you are. So good to always see young people who are interested in the legislative process because, you know, there's a saying that you may not be interested in politics. Politics is interested in you. So thank you for coming. Thank you for availing yourselves of the opportunity to meet your senators and your delegates and to really consider how a bill becomes law or not. That's the question. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Durant, the senator from Stafford.
Madam President, I'm here for rights for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, in the gallery with us today, we have members from the American Heritage Girls from across the Commonwealth. I ask that they stand. There we are. Madam President, American Heritage Girls is a Christ-centered organization to build character and leadership development program for girls 5 through 18. And Madam President, it's dedicated to the mission of building women of integrity through service to God, family, community, and country. In our group today, we have young women from Stafford, Spotsylvania, Chesapeake, Manassas, Annandale, Woodbridge, Warrenton, and Gloucester Point. I hope you would join me in giving them a warm Senate welcome.
Thank you, young ladies, for coming. Thank you for being in this program, which helps with your development of character, because you will discover that if you don't have one of the words the senator mentioned is integrity, you have nothing. You have nothing, even if you have all the money in the world. So thank you for being a part of that program, and really keep striving. You are one of our future leaders. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Salim, the senator from Central Fairfax County.
Madam President, I rise for an introduction.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, in the gallery, we have a constituent of mine named Brian Graham, if you would like to stand up, who happens to be the former immediate Fairfax County Democratic Committee chair. And that is the arm of the Democratic Party of Virginia, who deals with a lot of the local election, making sure people get on the ballot, making sure that the processes are in place. I have known him since 2020, and he's been elected as chair since then until 2024. And I've seen him at polling places at 5 a.m. and as late as midnight, making sure that the proper procedures are followed, local ordinances are followed, and he does all this for free as a volunteer service to candidates like myself. When I ran, was instrumental in making sure that the processes are fair, there's integrity in that process, so I wish that the Senate would give him a warm welcome today.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for, as the senator said, 5 o'clock being out there, snow, sleet, or rain. Do you work for the post office? Just kidding. But really, what we know is that in so many countries, we're not able to be a part of the process, and no matter what side you're on, you should be able to give voice to your concerns, your issues. Senators, let us give him the warm welcome of his Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Reeves, the senator from Orange.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, in the gallery today is somebody that's pretty special to me. She's here on her day off, and she brought her 3 children, Miss Carrie Sandoval. And Miss Sandoval is accompanied by her son, Obadiah Sandoval, who is a senior at James Monroe High School in Fredericksburg and now has gotten early acceptance into Virginia Tech, so he's going to be a Hokie. And also Lucy Sandoval, who's a homeschooler, and she's a sophomore, and Solomon Sandoval, who's a homeschool freshman who likes to spend a lot of times outdoors. Madam President, Carrie has come into our office and helped get us organized, but more importantly, she's done it all by herself, and that's a hard thing to do, is raise kids like that. So I just ask you to give her the warm welcome of the Senate.
Please rise. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to see your Senate. Thank you for helping the senator to, as he said, get organized. You see, we have a lot of work to do in very short time to do it in, and the bags under our eyes, I think we earned them. So thank you again. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Senator Reeves.
Madam President, I have one more introduction if I can.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. In the gallery today also is the Virginia Society for Human Life. Madam President, they were formed in 1967. I think it's important to understand what their mission statement is. Their mission statement is they are united in the belief that the human being and his innate dignity and worth should be safeguarded by law at every stage of biological development, and they've been doing that since 1967, and we appreciate those of us that are on this side of the aisle that believe life is very, very important. As the Bible says, he knew us before we were formed in the womb, and I can't thank them enough for being here today and advocating on behalf of those issues. Thank you, Madam President.
Please stand if you are here. Virginia Society for Human Life. Well, we do thank them for coming and for letting us know the things that are important to them. And we're so grateful for those who do believe that life is precious. And so we will thank them in absentia. Thank you. There you are. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator DeSteph, the senior senator from Virginia Beach. Good afternoon.
Try this again. Good afternoon, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, today in the gallery, it's my pleasure to introduce my constituents, the junior senator from Virginia Beach and the senator from Chesapeake, who has a piece of Virginia Beach constituents. These are the Men of Faith. The Men of Faith, established in 2007, is an organization of African-American men focused on empowering young African-American men in the Virginia Beach public school system to become more successful individuals, achieving academically and demonstrating positive behaviors. Men of Faith supports school personnel and solicits their partnership towards improved achievement of these students in the Virginia Beach public school system. Their faith-based partnership with the community serves to present many of these students with strong male role models and the tools they need to become successful in all of their endeavors. Their vision and mission are simple: to ensure the success of Virginia Beach youth from adolescence to adulthood, to mentor, education, and train youth to grow into responsible adults. Madam President, I bring the attention of the Senate to the Men of Faith and give them the warmest welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for starting your group, Men of Faith. Truly, you saw a need and you said somebody ought to do something, and you realized that you were that somebody. And so now we look at these beautiful faces of our young men, and we know that our young men so need affirmation, that they're doing a good job, that they're on the right path, that they're going to be our great leaders. So we thank you, and we're looking out for great things for you, great things from you. And I'm going to say the same thing I said before. Don't listen to the knuckleheads. There's another saying: sit with the warriors, because the conversation is different. Thank you. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator McGuire, the senator from Goochland.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
This introduction might be a little early because today is March for Life, and we have folks that advocate for our most vulnerable and our most important thing in life, and they just started a march around the Capitol. So some of them may be here, they may be on the march, but I wanted to say that today in the Capitol, as well as out by the bell tower, we have folks for the Virginia March for Life. This diverse range of students, parents, and people from all walks of life are here to explain to our legislators that life is a miracle, it begins at conception, and it must be protected. Many of the bills proposed this year have intended and unintended consequences and lead to more needless deaths in the womb. And without these voices to tell us, it's possible that some would be missed and passed without their true nature coming to light. There are many other options that they help advocate for as well, such as adoption and foster care. Some of you may know I spent some time as a child in foster care. There are many options. Anyway, Madam President, I ask that we give the people who participate in the Virginia March for Life a warm Senate welcome.
Are you here, March for Life? We have the society. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And thank you for not being shy about the things that you believe in and for letting us know what it is that you believe in. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the rules be suspended and that H.J.R. 192 be taken up for immediate consideration.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and House Joint Resolution 192 be taken up for immediate consideration? All in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The rules are suspended to take up the resolution for immediate consideration. This is your green sheet. The clerk will please read the title.
House Joint Resolution 192, commending Bishop Kim W. Brown.
The senator from Portsmouth, Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the H.J.R. 192 be agreed to.
And speaking to the motion?
No,
Ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay. The question is, shall the resolution be agreed to? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Oh, it is a voice vote. That's right. Will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The resolution is agreed to.
Madam President?
Senator Lucas.
Yes, I have an announcement.
We can wait until we get to the budget bills.
We're going to make that at the end of the calendar, just about.
Thank you.
I'll call you then. Chair recognizes Senator DeSteff, the senior senator from Virginia Beach.
Madam President, I move that the rules be suspended and Senate Joint Resolution 124 be taken up for immediate consideration.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and Senate Joint Resolution 124 be taken up for immediate consideration? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The rules are suspended to take up the resolution for immediate consideration. That is your blue sheet. The clerk will read the title.
Senate Joint Resolution 124, commending George Teague, Jr.
The senior senator again, Senator DeSteff from Virginia Beach.
Madam President, I move the resolution be agreed to.
Question is, shall the resolution be agreed to? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes. Will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The resolution is agreed to. Is there any other business to come? Chair calls on Senator Jordan, the senator from Isle of Wight.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today in the gallery, we have members of the Isle of Wight Chamber of Commerce Student Leadership Institute, and ask that they stand. The Isle of Wight Chamber of Commerce hosts a leadership development program tailored specifically for junior high school students known as the Student Leadership Institute. The program is the first of its kind to offer junior high school students in the Hampton Roads region this unique opportunity. Students are equipped with essential skills such as team building, resource utilization, building self-confidence, and fostering community impact. Part of their annual curriculum also includes a visit to Richmond each and every single year, and I'm honored to always host them. They're joined today by the president of the Isle of Wight Chamber, Marcy Levine, and I hope that we would give them the warm welcome of our Senate. Thank you, Madam President.
Good afternoon to you. Your chamber has decided to have a student leadership program. I know they normally have an executive leadership program, but to involve you as students, I think is wonderful because you get to meet so many interesting people and you get to visit so many, interesting places that you may never have had the opportunity to do. And I'm glad you're taking advantage of this. This is the first step, I think, on the way as you become our leaders. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Any other business to come for the morning hour? Hearing none, the clerk will call the calendar.
Senate calendar for Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Unfinished business, Senate. Senate Bill 116 has passed the House with the substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, Madam President, with the recommendation that the substitute not be agreed to, I move that the substitute be agreed to.
With a recommend, and you'd have to explain that, Senator.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Madam President, it establishes an annual resale sales and tax use holiday that takes place on the first full weekend in August beginning in 2025 through 2029. During such weekends, state retail sales and use tax will not apply to certain, i.e. school supplies, clothing and footwear, qualified products, energy, water safety program generators, and hurricane preparedness equipment.
The question is, with the recommendation that the substitute from the House be rejected, shall the amendment be agreed to? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no, with the recommendation that it be rejected. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 0, noes 40.
Ayes 0, noes 40. The amendment is rejected.
Senate Bill 194 has passed the House with a substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Van Valkenburg, the junior senator from Enrico.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, with the recommendation that we reject the House substitute, I move we accept the House substitute and speaking to that motion.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, members of the body, Senate Bill 194 is about allowing localities to assign a lower tax rate on vehicles. This came out of COVID. Our bill extends the sunset for 2 years. The House bill gets rid of the sunset. So I would move that we reject this House substitute and we'll figure it out.
The question is, with the recommendation that the House substitute on Senate Bill 194 be rejected, shall the the substitute be agreed to. Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 0, noes 40.
Ayes 0, noes 40. The Senate does not concur.
Uncontested calendar, House bills on third reading.
Chair recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. First of all, I have a parliamentary inquiry. Madam President.
The senator may state it.
We are now starting to see House bills come back. And just so we are all procedurally stating our motions correctly, am I correct that when we see one of our bills come back from the House, the correct motion is to whether we concur with the House amendments?
It is, Senator, and that's why I ended with the Senate does not concur.
Got it. So make sure everybody speaks their motions correctly. We heard, I think, 3 different versions today. So, having
We're
said
a
that,
bit rusty, Senator.
Yeah, we are. It's all good. So, Madam President, I move that all House bills on third reading on the uncontested calendars on pages 2 through 11, House bills 54 to 1488, be advanced to their final passage in the block after the adoption of any amendments thereto. Any senator desiring to remove a bill from the block shall do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill.
The question is, shall House bills on the uncontested calendar, third reading, pages 2 through 11, House bills 54 through House Bill 1488, be placed upon their final passage in the block with the adoption of any amendments thereto, with the understanding that any senator desiring a bill to be removed from the block will do so after the clerk has read the number of the bill. All in favor of the motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills are before us in the block. The clerk will now read the number of the bills.
House Bill 54, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 76, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 86, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 128, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 136, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 140, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 202, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 203, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 246, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 264, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 281, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 299, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 332, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 336, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 415, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 470, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice, and we have a floor substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I would move to waive reading of the floor sub.
The question is, shall the floor substitute be waived, the reading thereof? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The reading of the floor substitute is waived. Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the floor substitute and speaking to that motion.
The senator may continue.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, this bill, I guess, came through as presented to us in courts of justice as a different spin on a policy that we had considered earlier. However, upon further inquiry, discovered that this bill was actually originally identical to my legislation, part of my legislation that we passed earlier this session. And upon discovering that and the discussion that occurred in the other body a couple days ago, I thought the correct posture would be to substitute the policy this body adopted so that if the House doesn't like our policy, we can actually put the bill in a proper posture to have a much more friendly conversation. So in other words, I'm seeking to conform this bill to what we already passed. And after we do that, I'll move the bill out of the block because it was a contested vote on the final vote. So I would ask you to adopt this floor sub.
The question is, shall the floor substitute be adopted? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The floor substitute is adopted.
Madam President, I would ask that bill come out of the block.
Without objection, House Bill 586 is out of the block. 470, I'm sorry, 470.
House Bill 586, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 678, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice with amendments.
Chair recognizes again Senator Sorovell.
Madam President, I move the committee amendments.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are agreed to.
House Bill 772, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice with amendments.
Again, Senator Sorovell.
Madam President, I move the committee amendments.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are agreed to.
House Bill 823, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 879, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 895, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 947, reported from the Committee on Local Government. House Bill 1114, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice with a substitute.
Chair recognizes again Senator Sorovell, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the committee substitute.
Question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to.
House Bill 1126, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice. House Bill 1410, reported from the Committee on Local Government with amendment.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Prince William, Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the amendment be agreed to.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are agreed to.
House Bill 1488, reported from the Committee on Local Government with a substitute.
Chair again recognizes Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the substitute be agreed to.
The question is, shall the substitute be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no. The substitute is agreed to.
Madam President,
For what purpose does the senator from Roanoke rise?
can House Bill 1126 come out of the block?
Without objection, House Bill 1126 is out of the block. Chair recognizes the senator from Western Prince William, Senator Rome.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, can HB 264 on page 5 please come out of the block?
Without objection, House Bill 264 is out of the block. The question is, shall the House bills in the block pass? That is, all bills except for House Bill 264 on page 5, House Bill 470 on page 7, and House Bill 1126 on page 10. All in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? All the senators voted. Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. Bills in the block pass.
On page 5, House Bill 264.
Chair recognizes Senator Sorovell.
Thank you, Madam President. Didn't know I was going to have to explain this, but I will try my best. My recollection is this bill is the cognate.
For what purpose does the senator
I'm
rise?
sorry, I move the bill pass and I speak to that motion.
The senator may say on.
Thank you, Madam President. The bill is identical to Senate Bill 157 by Senator Boysko, which passed Senate courts 15-0 and passed the Senate 36-3 last time. So if you're amongst the three, I guess you might want to pay attention. But the bill basically allows certain legal notices to be published in an online-only newspaper. My recollection is that there's several parts of Virginia where that are only served by online papers and not print papers. And I believe the Press Association was okay with this, unlike some of the prior bills we've seen at it. And I would hope we could pass the bill.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? All the senators voted. Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 38, noes 2.
Ayes 38, noes 2. The bill passes.
On page 7, House Bill 470.
Chair again recognizes Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill pass. And speaking to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. This is the bill we just saw a second ago. We adopted the floor sub on. This bill was identical, or it's now identical to my bill, which was Senate Bill 502, which passed earlier. Just so everybody, my bill passed 25 to 15 a couple weeks ago. What the bill does is basically says that a parent cannot seek a protective order against a minor child who lives in their home, and that instead they can seek a CHINS petition, which is a much more sort of flexible process that allows a child to receive services. But we discussed this in the courts committee, thought it was the best policy. House has a different view of it. The idea of doing the sub was to get this thing in conference so we can have a conversation about the differing views on it. But that's essentially what the bill does.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? All the senators voted. Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 26, noes 14.
Ayes 26, noes 14. The bill passes.
On page 10, House Bill 1126.
Again, Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move Senate Bill 1126 pass. And speaking to the motion.
Senator has the floor.
So 1126 adds to the Christmas tree of elected officials who can marry people without getting a bond. Earlier this session, you might recall, we extended the existing statutory exemption from the bond to retired members of the legislature and statewide elected officials. This one adds members of the United States Congress and members of the United States Senate. So this just means that they can marry people without having to pay a $500 bond. That's what the bill does, and I believe the senator from Roanoke County doesn't like that, which is why he pulled it out of the block, but I'd still hope we could pass the bill.
Chair recognizes Senator Sudeline, the senator from Roanoke.
Thank you, Madam President. Speaking briefly, since the majority leader mentioned me, yes.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I didn't like it when the former senator from Chesapeake brought it so that we, as special people, were allowed to do it. I didn't think that was right. I don't think it's right that the members of Congress do it. I think we should have policies for everyone. And I look forward to getting to vote against school board members being able to do this next year. And maybe when we run for re-election, soil and water board members being able to do it as well. So thank you, Madam President. And thank you for the majority leader for this opportunity.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 34, noes 6.
Ayes 34, no 6. The bill passes.
Regular calendar, House bills on third reading. House Bill 47, a bill relating to invasive plant species retail sales, reported from the Committee on Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources with a substitute, and we have a floor substitute.
Chair recognizes Senator Marsden, the senior senator from Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I'd like to yield to the senator from Central Fairfax, Senator Salim.
Chair recognizes Senator Salim.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, with the recommendation that the substitute be rejected, I move that the substitute be agreed to.
There are two substitutes, Senator. Which one would you like rejected?
The committee substitute.
Okay. The question is, shall the substitute from Agriculture, Conservation...
Madam President, would the senator yield for a question?
Will Senator Salim yield for a question?
Madam President, I yield for a question.
Senator Salim yields. Senator McDougall has the floor.
Madam President, I'd ask the senator, is the substitute that the committee supported the same as the bill that passed the body earlier this session?
Senator Salim has the floor.
Madam President, and to the senator, no.
What was that, Senator?
The answer was no. It was not the same version that we passed. And the current version, what ended up happening is that we took up the House version, laid it on top of the Senate version, and that was the substitute that's here that we would like to reject.
We took the House version. Madam President, further question.
Will the senator yield for a further question? Senator Salim.
I would yield for another question.
Senator Salim yields. Senator McDougal has the floor.
Madam President, I apologize not being in the Ag Committee, but we took the House version and put it on top of the House version?
Madam President.
Senator Salim has the floor.
To the senator, so we took the House version, which took up my version from the Senate, but amended certain parts of it to include language as what the signage at the stores should say, what the size of that sign should be, was the addition that they did.
Madam President, would the senator yield for one additional question?
Will the senator from Central Fairfax County yield for another question?
I would yield for one more
Senator
question.
Salim yields. Senator McDougal has the floor.
Madam President, ask the senator, my understanding that the version that the Senate passed in the Senate bill had signage at a nursery or facility in one location or at the entrances. Is the senator anticipating that we're going to reject a substitute or vote on a floor substitute that has signage at additional places beside the entrances to the facility?
Senator Salim.
Madam President, to answer the senator, the substitute that we are trying to take up on the floor today would be, would it still include the signage at the entrances, would still include signage at the properties. However, what goes on those signage is going to come from a working group that's already in standing with the Commissioner of Agriculture and Conservation Services. So the intent of the substitute is to ensure that the language is determined by a agency that's already in standing.
Madam President, speaking to the motion.
The senator from Hanover has the floor.
Madam President, I just took a sneak peek at the substitute, and it said the signage would be in a conspicuous manner located in proximity to each invasive plant, which I would say is a very different policy than we had originally, which had signage at the entrances to the property. So I think that we are about to embark on taking a path different than the path the Senate originally took. And so that was the reason for my questioning, to make sure we were all talking about the same direction. So I myself like our original direction.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Saravel.
Thank you. This bill go by temporarily, please.
Without objection, House Bill 47 goes by temporarily.
House Bill 446, relating to abandoned or derelict aircraft. The committee amendments have been adopted by the Senate.
Chair recognizes Senator Stanley. Chair recognizes Senator Boysko, the senator from Northern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a bill that we heard yesterday. HB 446 is a bill to amend the Code of Virginia by...
Your motion, Senator?
I move the bill pass. Pardon me.
The senator has the
Speaking to
floor.
bill. This bill provides that an airport has a lien on an airport, on an abandoned or a derelict aircraft defined in the bill on its property for all fees and charges for the use of the airport by such aircraft and for all fees and charges incurred by the airport for the transportation, storage, and removal of the aircraft. The bill authorizes an airport operator or his designee to retain, trade, sell, or dispose of an abandoned or derelict aircraft on the property of such airport. The bill provides for notice requirements prior to any such transfer of ownership or interest in the aircraft, and I so move that we accept the bill.
The Senate will come to order. Chair recognizes Senator Stanley, the senator from Franklin.
Thank you, Madam President. Speak to the bill.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Yesterday, this bill did not go well for passage, and we kind of pulled back to maybe take a look at it, because on the surface, it looks like that this might not be something in a policy that we in Virginia want to adopt. But after talking to the patron, the delegate, I wanted to get more information on what this was. And basically what we have in smaller airports, especially in our regionals, and specifically at the Martinsville Regional Airport, you have airplanes that are abandoned there. And they're there that they can't touch them, they can't remove them, they can't use what we use in the DMV when we have abandoned vehicles. And we have laws that regulate that. So what is happening is that when people just leave their airplanes to die or to be decrepit, they don't have to take the responsibility. They don't have the cost. They just leave them at the airports where they might have had them at the hangar, and that's where they leave. And they decay, and they become a danger to those around them. And so this bill just gives the authority in the same way we give authority to our localities with regard to abandoned vehicles, to abandon airplanes. I can't believe, and abandoned boats. So if you have an abandoned airplane and you're not going to get it, well, then they've got to be able to take care of it, and that's what this bill does, nothing more. It doesn't interfere with freedom or liberty or justice. It's just a cleanup bill. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Senator Boysko.
I would just like to agree that we've heard from several airports around the state who said that they actually need this bill, and I just renew my motion that we report the bill.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 29, noes 11.
Ayes 29, noes 11. The bill passes.
House Bill 1071, reported from the Committee on Transportation.
Chair recognizes again Senator Boysko.
Thank you, Madam President. This was another bill that we heard yesterday that we passed by.
For what purpose does the senator rise?
Madam President, I move that we pass the bill.
The senator may continue.
Speaking to the bill, Madam President, this is another bill that we passed by yesterday. This bill expands the current authority of any locality to reduce the speed limit to less than 25 miles per hour, but not less than 15 miles per hour on highways within its boundaries that are located in a business district or a residence district, to include highways within the state highway system, provided that such reduction speed limit is indicated by lawfully placed signs. It authorizes a locality to restore a speed limit that has been reduced pursuant to this authority, and requires the locality to notify the Commissioner of Highway of a change of speed limit. This bill provides clarification, which has been requested by the localities on the process to follow for the highways in the state highway system, expanding upon the current authority that was enacted by the General Assembly in the 2021 special session. Some localities have not been able to implement the statute since a section of the code empowered VDOT to deny such requests from localities. This is a clarifying bill, and I move the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 23, noes 17.
Ayes 23, noes 17. The bill passes.
House Bill 5, a bill to create the Town of Leesburg Parking Authority, reported from the Committee on Local Government.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Prince William, Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the bill pass. And speaking to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. This would authorize the town of Leesburg to create a parking authority. The bill grants the authority of various powers, including the authority to construct and operate and lease parking facilities. This is similar to other localities enabled enabled authority, Madam President, and move the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 36, noes 4.
Ayes 36, noes 4. The bill passes.
House Bill 63, a bill relating to criminal cases, request for a jury to ascertain punishment, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice.
Chair recognizes Senator Somerville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill pass. And speaking to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I wasn't present for the discussion on this, but I was familiar with it. I'll try and explain it here. So this bill basically has to do with the new jury sentencing regime that we passed back in, I think it was the special session in 2020, which allows a criminal defendant to elect between a judge sentencing or jury sentencing. Under current law, they have to notify the court within 30 days or more before trial of what they want to do. And one of the things problems that's arisen is it's not clear whether a defendant can withdraw their request for jury sentencing before the finding has come in. And there's actually been a split in circuit courts about that. So basically what the bill does is it allows an accused person to withdraw their request for jury sentencing up until the commencement of the sentencing proceeding. And that either counsel for either party can have the right to examine jurors regarding the range of punishment as part of the voir dire process. The reason that's important is because the accused person often does not have complete discovery at the point in time where they're required to make the election. And so sometimes things happen, or things are made known to them after the 30 days. Also, things happen at trial. There's unforeseen circumstances that occur, which make it, I believe the committee thought, more fair to allow them to withdraw their request up until the sentencing begins. The bill is never going to act as a surprise to the prosecution because they'll be prepared one way or the other. So that's what the bill does. It does not have a cognate from the House. This is the first time we've seen this policy here in this chamber, but that's basically what the bill does, and hope we can pass it.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
House Bill 208, a bill relating to comprehensive plan, healthy communities strategy, reported from the Committee on Local Government with amendment.
Chair again recognizes Senator McPike, the senior senator from Prince William.
Thank you. Move the amendment be agreed to.
The question is, shall the amendment be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The amendment is agreed to. Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the bill pass. And speaking to the motion.
The senator may continue.
House Bill 208 is the cognate of Senate Bill 595 from Senator Bagby and Senator Aird. It provides and authorizes localities beginning this year to adopt healthy community strategies as a part of its next and any subsequent review of the comprehensive plan. And the bill provides that the locality's strategy to include and may include major sources of pollution, hazardous waste sites within the locality, and policies to mitigate unique or compounded health risks to residents. It also provides objectives and policies to prioritize improvements and programs to promote healthy communities, and that is the bill, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? All the senators voted. Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 25, noes 15.
Ayes 25, noes 15. The bill passes.
House Bill 459, a bill relating to conservation of trees during land development process in certain localities, reported from the Committee on Local Government.
Chair recognizes Senator Subramaniam, the senior senator from Loudoun.
Thank you, Madam President. I move passage of the bill and speaking to that motion.
Senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. HB 459 is identical to my SB 121. And this basically allows localities to a little bit more flexibility in preserving existing trees during the development process. And so I move passage of the bill.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 31, noes 9.
Ayes 31, noes 9. The bill passes.
House Bill 478, a bill relating to Community Revitalization Fund, expanding use for all localities, reported from the Committee on Local Government.
Chair recognizes Senator Locke, the senator from Hampton.
Thank you, Madam President. House Bill 478 is the companion bill. I move passage of House Bill 478.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. House Bill 478 is a companion bill to Senate Bill 49. And what it does is this bill was endorsed by the Nonpartisan Virginia Housing Commission after being fully discussed and vetted by the commission members and stakeholders, including the Virginia Municipal League and the Virginia Association of Counties. Community revitalization funds are needed to help localities prevent neighborhood deterioration and increase their housing stock. Currently, only the city of Richmond is allowed to establish a community revitalization fund, but all localities are in need of additional funds to address housing challenges and preserve affordable housing. This legislation expands authority to all localities, and this is permissive legislation. And with that, I move again that House Bill 478 pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, noes 1.
Ayes 39, noes 1. The bill passes.
House Bill 648, a bill relating to contracts assigning rights to inheritance funds, legal rate of interest, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice, and we do have a floor amendment.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd move the waive reading of the floor amendment.
The question is, shall the reading of the floor amendment be waived? Those in favor of waiving the reading will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The reading of the floor amendment is waived. Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd move the floor amendment and speak to the motion.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. The floor amendment here just makes it clear that this bill does not impair any existing contracts. It was requested, I believe, by the senator from Hanover and a senator from Rockingham, just to make it crystal clear in the code, even though that's normally the operation of statutes are normally prospectively operating. But this just avoids this being unconstitutional. So I hope we could adopt the amendment.
The question is, shall the floor amendment be adopted? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The floor amendment is adopted. Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill pass and speaking to the motion.
Senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. This was actually an interesting little bill that Delegate Coiner came up with. It basically says that any time a person receives an advance on their inheritance rights, that it has to be treated as a loan for purposes of I think it's called the Small Loan Act, or it was Senator Locke's bill a couple of years ago, Senator from Hampton's bill. But basically what's happened is these companies find out who are possible heirs of an estate, and they send out these mailings to people telling them, hey, if you want $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 advance, you might not see this money for another year or two. Hey, give us a call. What they don't tell them is the interest rate or how much they're going to charge them to give them their money early. And the interest rates end up being extremely exorbitant, and there's no disclosure on the front end. It's a completely unregulated transaction, and it's pretty predatory from a lot of people's point of view. So that's basically what this bill basically says, that if you're going to do one of these advances like this, it has to be subject to this Commonwealth's usury loan rates, which will get these interest rates under control. That's basically what the bill does.
Chair recognizes Senator McDougall, the senator from Hanover.
Would the senator yield for a question?
Will Senator Surville yield for a question?
I'll yield.
The senator yields. Senator McDougall has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, ask the senator, the process is the process as you understand it. A person is a beneficiary under a will. The person sells their rights, or currently would sell their rights as a beneficiary, and if for some reason they actually take nothing under the will, then they don't have to make any payments back for what they've sold. Is that accurate?
Senator Surville has the floor.
Madam President, what I would say to the senator is that it kind of depends. We were given an example of one specific solicitation that had been given out, I believe, to Delegate Coyner's children, but it was blacked out. But the way it was described by some of the testimony in committee, that there are many different companies that do it, and so there might be different species or forms of this. The people who testified said the one represented in the solicitation we got was like the worst one or the bad one, and they're awful, they're bad. The rest of us are really good. And so I think it depends on the terms of the document you sign. But generally speaking, you are assigning either your entire right to inherit from an estate or a portion of it up to a certain amount. And the estate has to calculate how much to pay based on how long it's been since that advance was made. And if you do not receive any money from the estate, that's correct. It's non-recourse, which means they cannot then go and sue the person receiving the inheritance for the money that they thought they were going to get from the estate. So that it is a non-recourse transaction. I would agree with that. That's the way they say it. They say most of these are, and that's why they claimed it wasn't a loan.
Senator McDougal.
Would the senator yield for additional question?
Will Senator Surville yield?
Sure.
The senator yields. Senator McDougal has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, by switching this to a loan, if somebody thinks they're the beneficiary but doesn't actually receive any money, then as a loan, they will still have to pay it back at whatever rate of interest is established, regardless of whether they receive any money from the estate.
Senator Surville.
Madam President, I would say the answer to that is no. And I would say a couple things in response to that. Number one, I believe the statute that this bill amends is the usury interest statute. And so basically it just says, for purposes of ascertaining whether this is a usurious transaction or not, we're going to classify it as a loan. But that, we obviously can't by statute rewrite a transaction for somebody. That's a transaction between private parties. So this is just for purposes of figuring out whether this is usury or not. You look at it as if it's a loan, whether they call it a loan or not. We've seen this before, for example, in car title lending, for example. Car title loans were non-recourse loans. People would sign over the right to title their car for money advance, and if they don't pay, the lender's sole remedy was to go take their car. If you didn't pay, they couldn't sue you. So, I mean, to me, it's very similar to a lot of the predatory loans like we just finished regulating. I think Senator Bagby actually carried the bill along from the House side along with Senator Locke. To me, this was a species of the same thing.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 30, noes 10.
Ayes 30, noes 10. The bill passes.
House Bill 878, a bill relating to purchase of development rights for affordable housing, reported from the Committee on Local Government with amendments.
Chair recognizes Senator McPike, the senior senator from Prince William.
Thank you, Madam President. Can that bill go by for the day?
Without objection, House Bill 878 goes by for the day.
House Bill 953, a bill relating to Local Environmental Impact Fund, reported from the Committee on Local Government.
Chair again recognizes Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the bill pass, and speaking to the motion.
Senator has the floor.
House Bill 953 allows localities to create a permanent perpetual fund known as the Local Environmental Impact Fund, and the bill provides that the fund shall consist exclusively of appropriated local monies and any gifts, donations, grants, bequeaths, and other funds received on its behalf, and the fund be created for the purpose of granting funds to residents or local-owned business for the mitigation of environmental impacts. That is the bill, Madam President.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
House Bill 1252, a bill relating to limitation on sentence upon revocation of suspension of sentence, technical violations, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice with amendments.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville.
Madam President, I move the committee amendments.
The question is, shall the committee amendments be agreed to? Those in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The committee amendments are agreed to. Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I move the bill pass, and I yield to the senior senator from Loudoun who can explain the bill, which is his cognate.
Chair recognizes Senator Subramaniam, the senior senator from Loudoun.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, as the senator said, this bill is identical to the one that passed out of this House, out of the Senate, and essentially it closes loopholes that judges were using to get around the original intent of the statute, which was to allow for basically 3 chances before incarceration for someone who has technical violations. So I move passage of the bill.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
House Bill 1420, a bill relating to juveniles' adjudication of delinquency, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that House Bill 1420 pass, and speaking to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. You all might remember this bill because it is the House cognate to Senate Bill 23 by the senator from Hampton. This bill, however, has some very slight technical differences which are not material, but what the bill basically does is says that it sets a minimum age for which a child can be adjudicated delinquent. That's 11 years old. So in other words, no child under 11 can be prosecuted for a crime is basically what it does. The bill passed here before, I believe, 2119. I would hope we could pass it again.
Chair recognizes Senator Jordan, the senator from... The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 22, noes 18.
Ayes 22, noes 18. The bill passes.
House Bill 1462, a bill relating to firearm and unattended motor vehicles, civil penalty, reported from the Committee for Courts of Justice.
Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. I would move House Bill 1462 pass, and speaking to that motion.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. This bill is the House cognate. It is absolutely identical to Senate Bill 447 by the senior senator from Fairfax County, which passed here 21-19. It has to do with the scourge, and I don't say that lightly because it is a scourge of guns being stolen in unattended vehicles. Thousands and thousands of these are being stolen per year in our state. I hope we could pass this one just like we did the last one.
Chair recognizes Senator McGuire, the senator from Goochland.
Thank you, Madam President. Speaking to the bill.
The senator has the floor.
You know, we keep, like I said, this is probably a time in our nation's history. Probably there's never a good time to have these anti-gun bills. Again, I'll go back to what we saw, the tragedy October 7th in Israel. In Israel, it's very, very, very hard to have a gun. The terrorists, Hamas, came across the border. They knew that. They mowed down 140 young people at a party with no concern for their own life because they knew in Israel it was very hard to have a gun. And I got to tell you, the only way to stop a bad person with a gun is a good person with a gun. And we keep infringing on these unconstitutional gun bills. And they're like, you can't have it in this building. You can't have it so many feet from this building. So if you're trying to protect yourself, you leave it in your gun in the car. You wouldn't need this bill if you would allow people to carry their gun. And I got to tell you, criminals don't care about any law we pass down here. They're going to break the law. And these laws make us helpless victims. It is our God-given right to protect ourselves, our family, and our children. So I would ask you to stop infringing on our Second Amendment right, and I ask the body to vote no.
Chair recognizes again Senator Surville.
Never mind.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
House Bill 1486, a bill relating to vacant building registration, civil penalty.
For what purpose does the senator from Isle of Wight rise?
Madam President, I rest for motion.
The senator has the floor.
Having voted on the prevailing side in which we just passed House Bill 1420, I would move that we reconsider that vote.
Well, Senator, if we can... One second. The question is, shall the vote by which House Bill 1420 passed be reconsidered? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The bill is reconsidered. Senator Surville.
Thank you, Madam President. Having been previously explained, I move the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 21, noes 19.
Ayes 21, noes 19. The bill passes.
House Bill 1486, a bill relating to vacant building registration, civil penalty, reported from the Committee on Local Government.
Chair recognizes the senior senator from Prince William, Senator McPike.
Thank you, Madam President. Move the bill pass. And speaking to the motion.
The senator has the floor.
This is the House cognate of Senate Bill 48 from Senator Locke, which reported and passed the Senate 40-0, so that's 40-0. And to summarize, under current law, any city or certain towns are permitted to require the owner of any building that's been vacant for 12 months and meets the definition of derelict buildings to register such building annually. And so this is a recommendation of the Virginia Housing Commission to allow all localities and not just certain cities and certain towns this permitted authority, and move the bill pass.
The question is, shall the bill pass? Those in favor of that motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 28, noes 12.
Ayes 28, noes 12. The bill passes.
Returning to page 11, House Bill 47.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Surville, the senator from Eastern Fairfax County.
Thank you. That bill go by for the day.
Without objection, House Bill 47 goes by for the day.
Uncontested calendar, House bills on second reading.
Chair again recognizes Senator Surville.
Madam President, I move that all the House bills on second reading on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 17 through 20, House Bill 123 through 1062, the rules be suspended and the second constitutional reading of the titles be dispensed with.
The question is, shall the rules be suspended and the second reading of the titles of House bills on the uncontested and regular calendars, pages 17 through 20, House Bills 123 through House Bills 1062 be dispensed with? All in favor of the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 40, no 0.
Ayes 40, no 0. The reading of the titles is dispensed with. Senator Surville.
Madam President, I move that all of the House bills now on third reading go by for the day.
The question is, shall the House bills on the uncontested and regular calendars, now on their third reading, go by for the day? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills go by for the day.
Uncontested calendar, Senate bills on second reading.
Chair recognizes Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I have two things here. Madam President, the committee amendments were placed on the desk yesterday, and I want to have everybody to have these on their desk tomorrow. We will have extra copies. Items to be removed from the block or out of the block must be submitted to the Chamber's desk by 5 p.m. today. Any floor amendments to the bills must be drafted by Senate Finance and Appropriations staff. Floor amendments must be submitted to the Chamber's desk by 5 p.m. today. Please email floor amendments and out-of-block requests to Nathan Hatfield, everybody knows who he is, and Michael Adams. For voting on Thursday, if you have any questions about needing to abstain pursuant to Rule 36, please contact Senate Finance and Appropriations staff. Madam President, also, yes, committee budget members were placed on the desk, as I said yesterday. And that's it.
Special and continuing
right.
orders.
We've had these on the desk for 2 days. And so for those of you who may have gotten them misplaced yesterday, please review it again, because this will give you the order of the budget process, the floor budget process tomorrow on Senate Bill 29 and on Senate Bill 30.
Senator Lucas, we're now, you had wanted to talk about the special and continuing orders in the very beginning, and this is what we've moved to the end.
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I do. I have 2 copies, as a matter of fact. Madam President, pursuant to Senate Rule 23, I move that Senate Bill 29 and Senate Bill 30 be made a special and continuing order at the conclusion of the Senate calendar on Thursday, February 22nd, 2024.
The question is, shall Senate Bill 29 and Senate Bill 30 be made a special and continuing order at the conclusion of the Senate calendar on Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. All in favor of agreeing to the motion will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 39, no 0.
Ayes 39, no 0. The special and continuing order is set for Senate Bill 29 and Senate Bill 30 at the conclusion of the Senate calendar on Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. Senator Lucas.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the bill pass by for the day.
The question is, shall Senate Bills 29 and Senate Bills 30 now pass by for the day? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The bills are passed by for the day. Senator Saravel.
Inquiry of the clerk. Does that complete our calendar?
Yes, sir.
Is there any other business to come before the Senate? Hearing none. Chair recognizes Senator Williams Graves, the senator from Norfolk.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for a point of personal privilege.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for a point of personal privilege to extend a real congratulations to Speaker Scott on a great Speaker's Gala last night, in which we learned that the Lieutenant Governor has dance moves. This is not Vegas. What happens at the gala doesn't stay at the gala, because we all got pictures and video, but the Lieutenant Governor has mad dance skills.
Chair recognizes Senator Rouse, the junior senator from Virginia Beach.
Thank you, Madam President. I don't know about dance move, but I want to see some basketball skills tonight on the basketball court. Tonight is our last full basketball practice before the big day. So I hope to see you all tonight, same time, same location, 7 p.m. You know the spots. Basketball practice tonight. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Senator Obenshain, the senator from Rockingham.
Madam President, point of personal privilege /
Senator has the floor.
Madam President, I thought that Senator from Virginia Beach was going to say this, but it is Hokie Day in the Capitol, and it is a day late. We put off celebrating the outstanding result in Blacksburg on Monday evening just out of sensitivity. We have a sensitivity caucus, too, sensitivity to the feelings of our University of Virginia colleagues. So, Madam President, if I was so inclined yesterday, I would have yesterday moved to adjourn in memory and honor of the University of Virginia basketball team, but I will not do that today.
Madam President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Hanover, Senator McDougal.
Thank you, Madam President. The Senate Republicans will meet in their normal place immediately upon us gaveling out. No delay, please.
Chair recognizes Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth. Oh, I'm sorry, Senator. We have announcements on the desk, which the clerk will now announce.
Today, Wednesday, February 21st, 2024, the Committee on General Laws and Technology will meet 30 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room B, General Assembly Building. Committee for Courts of Justice will meet 30 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room A, General Assembly Building. The Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources Subcommittee on Companion Animals will meet at 4:00 p.m. in Senate Room C, General Assembly Building. Senators Fobola, Stanley, and Pekarsky. Tomorrow, Thursday, February 22nd, 2024, the Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Health and Human Resources will not meet. The Hampton Roads Caucus will meet at 7:30 a.m. in the House South Meeting Room, 7th floor, GAB. The Committee on Education and Health will meet at 8:00 a.m. in Senate Room A, General Assembly Building. The Democratic Caucus will meet at 11:00 a.m. in Senate Room 1, the Capitol. The Republican Caucus will meet at 11:15 a.m. in Senate Room 2 of the Capitol.
Chair now calls on Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 12 noon on tomorrow.
The question is, shall the Senate adjourn until 12 noon tomorrow? Those in favor of that motion will say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The motion is agreed to. The Senate stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.
This is the Senate of Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.